Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Young and Dynamic. I'm super excited to welcome you all dynamites from Burundi, from Lesotho, wherever you're coming from. It's so awesome to be having you this afternoon. And I would also like to extend a very warm welcome to our HLF and Delta staff and our executives who are connected with us this afternoon. Well, let's just remind each other of the housekeeping rules that we've always had. And I think by now we all know what they are. Please do make sure you have a notebook and a pen, just as I have mine right next to me like this. My notebook, my pen. And I don't want to lie, this thing can really help you. I don't want to lie, I still have my notes from 2010 and 2019. And imagine how much knowledge you have. And I also like to remind you to keep your gadget on mute unless you're asked by the MC or the facilitators in general. And in case if you have your video on and you feel like you want to leave the meeting, please do switch it off and then switch it on back when you're back. We do not like to see you leave, okay? And of course, the chat box is free for you to use it and communicate with us and to air your views. And you can put any direct messages that you'd like. Well, I think I got too excited and I forgot to reintroduce myself to those who might not know me. Hi, everybody. I am Yvonne, aka Vovo. It's Vovo. I'll keep emphasizing that, not Vovo. Anyways, can somebody remind me what happened last week? All I could see was just fireworks. But then unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond my control, I couldn't connect. But I'm so excited. Can someone tell me? Salo, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon, Yvonne. How are you doing?
I am great. Yo, I'm seeing there was awards last week. Can you give me what happened? Just me. And everybody else who doesn't know.
Oh, I joined online though, but still I could feel like I was actually in the session. Well, to begin with, I had an award, so yeah, of course, I was excited, you know.
Remind
Yes,
us.
but yeah, it was really great. I got a Scribe of the Year. I got an award. I was happy. I was really honored. And yeah, Farai, and you know, it was such a great time with the family. So it's been like almost a year without seeing each other. I was really grateful, you know. Thank you.
Totally understand. Ooh, I'm still seeing more just awards. Awesome. So last year was awesome. It was amazing. We had an amazing time. And this year we hope is going to be even better. So today we have the session Loading 2023. Good afternoon, Pastor Munashe. Are you with us?
Yes, good afternoon, Bobo. How are you?
I am awesome. How are you?
I'm well. You're looking really good today.
Thank you.
I know you're always on point, but today you're really good.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, I'm handing over to you. Take us away.
Oh, perfect. Thank you very much, Vovo, for just leading us in such an amazing way. And Vovo, we can't express our love for you enough. We do love you. You are such a joy to work around, to be around, and we are grateful to have you as part and parcel of our family. So yes, as you have mentioned, Vovo, we have the session 2023 loading, where we are just going to be talking about how it looks like, how it looks like. But before we get to there, I'm going to ask God knows Matanga Kufa to just come through and lead us in prayer. And then from there, we'll take it away. So as God knows is leading us in prayer, I'd like to encourage you to open your mind and open your heart so that the Lord will lead you well. Hello, God knows. How are you doing?
Hello, sir. I'm fine. And you?
I'm well. It's good to see you, God knows. You can take it away and lead us in prayer.
Thank you, Pastor Brashe. So let us pray. Loving and gracious God, our Heavenly Father, we gather here as your children, and we thank you, Lord, for the gift of life. We thank you, Lord, for calling us together as one family. Holy God, we come together this day, seeking for your guidance, wisdom, and support. As we begin this meeting, open up our hearts and fill us with your grace, so that everything we are going to learn will transform us to be the people of tomorrow. Lord Jesus Christ, give us courage to participate in your ongoing creation, as well, Lord, we call upon the intercession of your beloved Son, Jesus Christ. For glory, honor, and praise are yours, forever and ever. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, God knows, for leading us in prayer. May God continuously bless you. For those who might be wondering where this gentleman is from, this gentleman is from Harare Institute of Technology. It's now a university. So he's at Harare Institute of Technology University. So we appreciate you, God knows, for just leading us in prayer. So today, what does 2023 loading mean? It means that we are just going to look into the horizon and see what's going to happen in the future, what's going to happen in 2023. But then we are not going to look into what is going to happen in the year 2023 without looking back from where we came from. So we are going to have a discussion around 2022. The reason why Vovo started the conversation on the Young and Dynamic Annual Awards, we're going to be talking about them more, and you're going to show you a video of what happened. But before we get to there, we want to have this conversation of how 2022 looked like. And I'd like to just start by saying all the things that you see happening on Young and Dynamic. There are three essential groups of people that make those things happen. Three of them that work in the background and make sure things happen. Number one, they are our young and dynamic club committees, right? And you guys know them, the governors, the vice governors, and the committees that they work with. We thank them for the amazing work that they do in the background. We also have the young and dynamic management. Vovo is one of the longest serving members on that on that board. Okay, they also make things happen in the background. They discuss, they give us ideas, and then there is another group. This is a more silent group, but they are equally as effective. Some of you started hearing recently that there is a young and dynamic executive. So these are the people that also do most of the administrative work, of the facilitations, of the running around in the background to make sure that young and dynamic management and young and dynamic club committees operate fully. So these are the people I'm going to be having a conversation with to just have an understanding of what happens and what has been happening in the year 2022, because they are the people that also report to our Higher Life Foundation executives on what is happening on Young and Dynamic. So, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to the platform Mr. Ray Tondoy, Mr. Ray Clements Tondoy. Let's give him a clapping, a young and dynamic clapping as he comes. Snap, 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 snap for Mr. Raymond Clements Tondoy. How are you, man of God?
I'm doing fine, Pastor, and I'm excited to be on this platform with the vibrant, young, and dynamic leaders who are connected on this platform. It's so exciting always when you join on this platform.
Absolutely. I mean, last week you were looking awesome. You're looking perfect.
Thank you so much, Pastor, and thank you so much, everyone who enjoyed the session we did last week.
Absolutely. So, we have been talking about Y&D, young and dynamic, this and that. What exactly is this young and dynamic that we talk about? What is it that we really do here? Just for in case someone has brought a friend and they don't know what we really do. What is it that we do here as young and dynamic?
Thank you so much, Pastor Mnasha, for that question. That was my question when I joined a few years ago. I was so curious and I really wanted to know what is this group about, because I've heard so much about the young and dynamic. And to be honest with you, this is a powerful platform to be and a powerful session to attend. Young and dynamic is generally a global virtual fellowship where we gather together from different geographical locations and come on one platform to get mentorship on either leadership, life skills, and also spiritual mentorship. And we are supported by the Higher Life Foundation in everything that we do. And our mandate generally is to raise purpose-driven young leaders who have an entrepreneurial mindset, who are professional in their conduct, and also are transformative leaders in their different spheres of influence. So one thing that is so interesting about this mentorship platform is it's that it's online. You can connect from anywhere, and you can be part of a growing team of leaders. We are preparing to take up future leadership positions. So in general, that's what Young and Dynamic is. But we are also centered mostly on global citizenry education, whereby we empower our young people from different ages to take active roles, both locally and globally, in building more peaceful, tolerant, and inclusive, and also secure societies. And it's interesting, we have some young people who have made significant strides towards achieving that. Thank you so much, Pastor Mnasha.
Absolutely. And you talked about young people who have made significant strides in achieving that. Can we have maybe some examples in-house or even outside the Higher Life Foundation family who have managed to, make that transformation and that impact you have been talking about?
The interesting part of it is most of us are still aware that last week we had Young and Dynamic Awards, and amongst the young people who were receiving awards are some of the people who have made significant impact in their communities. We had University of Zimbabwe students who got an award for community engagement. They've been involved and contributing significantly in their communities, either through volunteerism or supporting the children's home. That's exactly what we are teaching our young people here, to be servant leaders who take up initiatives in their communities and just throw yourself in the deep, irrespective of your age, where you are. You do things that impacts your community. Don't wait to be a billionaire or a millionaire to bring change, desired change in your community. You just have to do with what you have and where you are. So we have so many others who have started their own businesses. If I start to list them, some will think I'm doing injustice, because so many have done a lot.
Yes, absolutely. And I like how you have simplified this, because most of the times when we hear the word impact, it's such a big word. When we hear the word transformation, as young people, we start thinking, when I make money, when I start working, when I'm part and parcel, when I'm a millionaire, a billionaire, like what you have mentioned, that's when I can start making impact. But you have broken it down to us to say, you can start with the small things, such as visiting an orphanage. You can start with the small things like what Great Zimbabwe University has been doing those cleanup campaigns. And you can start where you are with what you have and you can grow from there. But before that, you mentioned something important. You mentioned that we are trained on global citizenry education, which is basically your 21st century skills, what we call life skills. And you talked about leadership, and you also talked about the spiritual mentorship aspect of it, which is mainly surrounding the area of character building. And I believe this is something that we have been doing in the past year. Which are some of the outstanding sessions that you can point out to and say, from last year, these are the sessions that were really outstanding to you, and what you think young people must have taken away from those sessions?
Thank you so much, Pastor Munashe. For me, all sessions were really interesting, to be honest with you, because you can pick one or two things that you use in your life. So I just selected three. The first one is the Take Your Life Back series by Miss Joanna. To be honest with you, I was looking at the statistics that Miss Joanna shared with us. She says, according to Lancet Global Health, about 100 million Africans suffer from clinical depression. And World Health Organization says 700,000 people die by suicide every year. And 1 in every 100 deaths are because of suicide globally. And lastly, she says 1 in every 7 of the world's adolescents suffer from mental health problems. To be honest with you, we have young people who suffer from mental health, but because of our cultural beliefs that there is no issues like depression, you hardly express yourself. This session was so powerful because it helps us to be able to open up and realize that mental health is actually a problem, that you can go for medical attention, seek a psychologist to support you with how best you can deal with the issues that you are confronted with. So I just find that session so interesting and powerful because it helped us to just know the issues that some of these issues we don't just have to throw them under the carpet, but to find ways to help ourselves so that we don't end up involved in issues like suicide or just those high levels of mental depression that you cannot control. And the second one, it was also during the Take Your Life Back series when Miss Maramba then come on the platform and share with us some of the affirmations. I find it so interesting, especially when you are young. The major problem that we struggle with, we don't have people who tell us positive words, who infuse in our minds things that are positive. So end up thinking about all negativity around us. But the affirmations were so powerful. I just looked at some of the affirmations. She touched on subconscious mind, and she says, we are smashing and demolishing every untrue record in our subconscious mind. Every untrue, a record that tells you are poor, a record that tells you are not the best version of yourself, a record that tells you can't do anything. We smash such. And she also touched on health and say, my body is the body of Christ, perfect and flawless. If we look at that, it's so powerful. If you are young people and a young person, and you personalize that, you look at your body and say it's the body of Christ. It's perfect and it's flawless. You won't be associated, you won't find yourself associated with so many other things because you know what your body is made of. And she touched on general success and say, the genius in me is now released and I'm fulfilling my destiny. There is nothing that is going to stop me. She spoke on eternal health. She spoke on eternal joy, eternal youth, and generally eternal life. So I find that session interesting because it was awakening the giants in us to just look at us from a positive perspective. Lastly, this one was interesting. I just liked 2 quotes that I got from that session because they were so powerful. It was Godly Union by Pastor Arnold and Nyasha Chakwira. One of the problems that we are seeing in our generation is a misconception around marriage because people are driven by the need for sex and the general outlooks that you can see before you get into marriage. And sometimes when those things start to disappear, you realize people pushing for divorce and because they pursued things that they thought were priorities for marriage, or honestly, they were not priorities. So they shared that you cannot marry for sex because you can't do it every day. And also sex is not a true indication of pure love. And they say you have to be genuine to each other, not these things that we try to, these try to prove people and all stuff,
right.
those things that you are not. Generally being honest and genuine and pursue real love, not the other priorities that you think are important, yet they are not. Those were really interesting sessions for me, Pastor Menashe.
Wow, this is amazing. I like the holistic approach to the sessions that you have picked. You touched on our mental health, you touched on our emotional health, you touched on our spiritual health. You even went on ahead to touch on the sexual reproductive health when it comes to godly marriages. I like how Young and Dynamic is so intentional about making sure that we build a holistic individual who will be able to function fully in 2023. As we come to a close in my discussion with you, Mr. Tondoi, I mean, you started as a Young and Dynamic manager, right? You were part and parcel of the management, and then you moved all the way to the executive right now where you are sitting. What would be your advice? And I know that you also used to attend even before you were part and parcel of the management. There's a dynamite who's just there, who's just wondering, okay, I'm getting all this information. How do I, become like Mr. Tondoi? Now, I know we had not talked about this, but I'll just say it on this platform. Now you're working, in the coach's office. You are assisting them in that office, and you just rose through the ranks. What would be your advice to someone who has a dream, who has a vision, who has a goal? What can you say to that young person, given all these things that we are learning here on Young and Dynamic?
For me, Pastor Menashe, I give kudos to myself because I was curious. I came to the platform because I was curious. I really wanted to learn something. I didn't just come to the platform and sit back and relax. I was so intentional about learning something new from the platform. So I don't take for granted these sessions that we have every day, because in these sessions you get to receive, like I said, one or two things that you can join together and become so successful. You can get one statement this week, you join with another statement in the following week, but you can only do that when you are intentional about it. How can you be intentional? Sometimes you join the platform. I see sometimes now, because I am sitting executive, you can be observing some of these things. You join the platform and someone is busy saying other things and doing other things. They are not paying attention to the session. And by the end of the session, you log off. Tomorrow, the next week, you join again. You are not really getting anything. For me, it's paying attention to detail. Everything that's shared on this platform is important. You might not need it today, but you always need it in the future. So I pay attention. I also bring my notebook and my pen. I always have them. I can show you, I have my diary here, I have my pen. In every meeting, I carry them because I know something is going to be said that is really important, and I take note of almost everything that is said, even if I know I don't need it now. And when you take your notes, when you take when you are paying attention, that's one first step to your success. Secondly, you need to ask questions. I have an executive who actually excites me in the High Life Foundation. You can't get out of a meeting before she asks questions. She asks so many questions. And I realize, wow, that's why she's so a powerhouse of information, because she asks to know. You don't let things pass you. When we are discussing, we say this is time for question and answers. And you sit back, you relax, and you don't ask a question when you know you haven't understood and some of the things that were shared. You are doing injustice to yourself. And lastly, for me, it's active participation and also going out there and implementing the things that you have been taught on this platform. Active participation, just being involved in everything that we do. When you are sold out to the vision that we have as Young and Dynamic, to raise leaders who are well-rounded, who will be releasing to the world to make significant impact. When you know that you want to be that leader we are talking about, you listen to everything, you pay attention, like I said, you then go out there. When we say we are doing goal setting sessions and we are asked to do my goal setting exercises, and you then hear and you don't do it, then you are not doing anything. But when you do it, you actually go. We did entrepreneurship session with Miss Tanya. There are others who actually went there, out there and start their small business, and they are so successful. If you look at them today and what they were a few years down the line, you see a huge difference. So it's just being intentional about your success. Thank you so much, Pastor Mnasha.
Wow, amazing, amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, snap, 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 snap for Mr. Ray Clements Tondoi. So much to learn from him, so much to learn from him. So look for him in the groups. If you want him to mentor you, he can mentor you, okay? Look for him in the WhatsApp groups that we are in. Amazing things that we have learned from him. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome also another member of the Young and Dynamic Executive who's really been so, involved and active and making sure that things happen in the background. The governors know him, the Young and Dynamic management know him, that he makes things happen in the background. So help me to welcome to the podium, Mr. Tinashe Musharu. Snap, 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 snap. For Mr. Musharu. Welcome, welcome, Mr. Musharu. It's good to see you.
Good afternoon, Pastor Mnashe. Good afternoon, all the dynamites. I'm so humbled to be talking to you today.
Amazing, amazing. And thank you very much, for just leading the team in pulling out the Young and Dynamic Annual Awards last week. That was awesome.
Thank you so much, Pastor Mnashe.
Great. So, we've just had this conversation with Mr. Roy, with Mr. Tondoi, where he has introduced us to what Young and Dynamic is and the sessions that we went through and what we get to be trained on when we are on the platform. I want to talk now about, the structures. You came in and you introduced several levels of structures in Young and Dynamic. And some of the structures that you have introduced, let me start with the simple one, the Young and Dynamic management, right? When you came up with that idea and you instituted that idea, what was in your mind? What were you thinking about? How were you envisioning it?
Yeah, thank you so much. So, when I came up with that idea, to me, I said, we are calling ourselves Young and Dynamic, and the Young and Dynamic should be totally run by young people. That's the reason why I came up with those ideas to bring young people into management so that we can have a holistic approach whenever we are going to give solutions, when we are going to run sessions, when we are going to make impact. Why? Because when we have young people running a program, it is tailor-made to meet their needs. Therefore, it was the drive core for me to say, as far as we want to run this Young and Dynamic and we want to be very successful, therefore we need to have young people on forefront so that we can address their needs and also we can make impact, which is relevant to their generation. That was my take.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you bring something important here, or the issue of ownership. You want young people to run the program that concerns them, so that they can meet their needs. In Africa nowadays, we have challenges whereby young people who are 67.7%, like in this country, and the average mean in this country is about 19 years old, right? And the majority of people on the continent of Africa are young people. And unfortunately, those young people are not given a platform or a podium to voice their voice, number one. Number two, they do not have a podium to contribute in how they are governed, in how their communities are run. So as a result, young people are excluded young people are excluded from the issue of decision making and even resources. You bring out a very important issue. I mean, we even see it at home. Kunonzi vana baba nana mai ndo anogara uko vana vadiki endai munoona TV. So I like how you have brought that up and how essential it is, the issue of inclusivity on development, young people to actively participate in development. So what is it that young and dynamic management do in the background? What are positions that are there?
Okay, so on young and dynamic management, we have brought several positions. First, we have a group of people who we call them MCs. So we trained them, we have found professionals who are into MCing and who are into public speaking. They have trained them. So these people, they give each other an opportunity to come and host our sessions each and every Saturday. And then we have a special group of people, which call them scribers. So the scribers, they take down most important points, learning outcomes. They also compile them. Each and every session is well documented. We have also a summary of each and every session. What was the main purpose? What was the learning outcomes? And what were the major asked questions concerning that particular session? And we're also the group of technical team. So those who are going to admit people, those who also make sure that everything that we need is also put in place. So they make sure that people have been admitted, and it is live streamed. Whenever we have a problem, a technical fault, they run around to make sure that that fault has been resolved in a split of a second. So these people, they make sure that our session run very smoothly without any hiccups or without any challenges encountered.
Absolutely, absolutely amazing. And so how do I find myself being part and parcel of the young and dynamic management?
So to be part of young and dynamic management, each and every year we sit down, because our resources are always limited. So we have few, right. We always take few slots. So each and every year we give an opportunity for each individual who is interested to apply. So when you apply, a committee will sit down, executives will sit down, and they read each and every single application and motivational letter. After that, then they will conduct interviews. So you'll be interviewed according to what you have applied for. So these categories, a tip to those who are listening: whenever you are applying for that end of the opportunity or end of the category that you're interested, make sure that also your CV is tailor-made to make sure that it suits the position that you are applying for. This reminded me of our work readiness session with Ms. Tanya, where you are tailor-made in your curriculum, your CV to suit a position that you want. Then after we did the interviews, and then we select those who are most suitable, we make sure that we train them to suit our demand. Therefore, they will automatically become the part of the session. I'm looking forward to see this year also opening up and accepting few individuals who have missed last year's opportunity. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, absolutely, very important. And I like the fact that a lot of young people, they struggle with the issue of experience when they are done with their first degree and they want to get into the market. And then the job market is saying we need 2 years experience, we need 3 years experience. I think also that the young and dynamic management is a place where you can get that working experience, because you mentioned that there are specific areas, like, for example, if you're a master of ceremony, you're already doing something within the area of interacting with the public, broadcasting as well. So you can write it as a PR experience, you can write it as a broadcasting experience, you can write it as a coordinating experience. I like that. And you mentioned also the issue of the CV writing that comes with it, because these people go through interviews. You're already getting experience on how to do your basic interview. And I like how thorough the interviews are as well. So thank you very much, Mr. Mshado, for that opportunity that you are giving to young people to come through and to learn how to actually do the practicals of writing your CV down, writing your profile, your motivation in a professional setup. But then I also wanted to understand more and to have a discussion more on the young and dynamic club committees. These have been very popular in the past year, 2021. What are these young and dynamic club committees?
Thank you so much. So what we have done, the LLD team, the Young and Dynamic Executives, in partnership with SBUs, that run different provinces, we sat down and then we help each other to set up a committee that we call Young and Dynamic Club Committee. So what the main purpose of that committee is to implement what they have learned, to implement the vision, to implement the learning outcomes of each and every angle. So what we have set up the committee. There is a governor, they have a vice governor, there is a treasury, and then they have committee members. So this group of people, they sit down and then they make sure that they've implemented every single task that we have tasked them. So with partnership with the respective SBUs, because these club committees, we have clubs that we have created in 2022. We have created 10 clubs in 2022. So these clubs, they are sitting in different institutions, UZ, GZU, NAST, Marondera University, we'll say CAT, to mention the few. So they are also, we also work with the respective SBUs in those respective areas. Number one, what they do, they make sure that our beneficiaries and non-beneficiaries in their respective institutions have information and are able to attend Young and Dynamic. They make sure that if for those who want data, they combine those lists and submit to their respective SBUs so that each and every individual who is honest and who is integrity can receive data and use for right purpose. And then they also help us, especially for HLF students, to secure accommodation, to process their school fees. So this is one of the most important group of people that I work with, that we as Young and Dynamic work with. So we have given them an opportunity to sit down again as club members and also do certain projects to make impact in their respective communities. So we are supporting them from LLD perspective and also from SBU perspective. We support these club members and also the governors and vice governors to make sure that they have information, every information that needs to be sent out. They are the ones also that distributed to over 3,000 students, 3,000 people in a split of a second. So you see, whenever a flyer is released, in less than 10 minutes, I believe over 3,000 people, they would know that tomorrow we are going to have Young and Dynamic. So I respect and I'm humbled by their commitment of these club members.
Amazing, amazing. Oh, snap to our Young and Dynamic club committees and the amazing work that they are doing. So we do respect and acknowledge and love the work that they are doing. But how do you're talking about a lot of things, and it sounds like what you have just mentioned, the roles that they play, it's around coordination, it's around facilitation, it's around planning, it's around forecasting, all those five, management skills that are required, it sounds like these young people are getting this experience right here on Young and Dynamic. So this can be another, platform that young people can bridge their skills, planning wise, coordinating, organizing, controlling. That's what management is all about. And here, young people have an opportunity. And I believe it's something that you can actually put on your profile or on your CV as a young person. So you should be aspiring to become part and parcel of the Young and Dynamic Club Committee member. And you have talked about 10 Young and Dynamic clubs that we have done, that are already there. What are some of the things that they have done? Before we can talk about how they can become part and parcel of it, what are some of the things that they have done in the past year that we can actually say this is what Young and Dynamic Club committees are doing in different institutions that you have mentioned?
Thank you so much, Pastor. So to answer that, so what we have developed is young and dynamic executives. We make sure that we are in a constant engagement with our club members, our governors and vice governors. Each and every month, we make sure that we have a meeting and understand what they are really doing, what kind of help that they need so that we raise it to our management. So allow me just to mention a few things that the different club members, they have done in their respective communities. So I'll start with GZU. GZU, I visited Alpha Cottage on 26 March, donated food, stationery, donated clothes, and also they've also cleaned up the area. And also they've also done cleanup campaigns in Masvingo. They've done cleanup campaign in Mcheke campus at Mashava. They visited Scripture Union on 25 June. So this is what in Masvingo they are doing. And also looking at what Buse and UZ and other institutions they have done is so humbling. Let me talk about YIT. They've also done their community engagement at Teacher Kunda's Children's Home. Their major purpose of this visit was to undertake several activities, including talks about sexual and reproductive health, drug abuse, talent development, and career guidance. If we go down to LSU, Lupane State University, they have also conducted a paid campaign. They also done a cleanup campaign at their main campus, also at Blawayo Packet Center. They also streamed Y&D sessions in different districts, in different children's home, and also at the Mabikwa High School in the Lupane district. Moving forward to Masvingo Polytech, they also in partnership with the Great Zimbabwe University, they visited Alpha Cottage on 26 March and also do their donations. They did cleanup campaign at Masvingo CBD. They also meet up every Friday and do the word sharing and fellowship. They visited Scripture Union and donated food stuff, played games, career guidance. Moving forward to NAS visited different students' home. They've donated winter clothes, groceries, and money. They managed to give career guidance to kids. They've managed to visit DEMS conference in partnership with the Blawayo Polytech for a cleanup day. Moving forward to UZ did amazing work this year. They visited Domboshava Children's Home. They visited New Start Home. They did career guidance at Sunside Secondary School. They also did career guidance at Harare High School. They did massive clean-up campaigns. They also did girls session. One of the interesting projects that they have done, is the road safety awareness with partnership with the Zimbabwe Traffic Council, with also partnership with different clubs at UZ. So to me, it said, if our club can partner with different clubs, can also partner with different arms of the government and make this massive impact, it's also very, very humbling. So this is a snapshot of what has been happening throughout our 10 clubs throughout the country. There's a lot of things that I've not yet mentioned, but in future, I will try also to share to other people to have an appreciation of what really is happening with our respective clubs at different institutions.
Amazing. I like how you talked about the issue of collaboration and partnership and how University of Zimbabwe in particular, and I also know that Great Zimbabwe University did the same. because Governor Alec and Governor Emmanuel did come together and they worked with other organizations as well in their particular campuses to ensure that they work together to develop their particular communities, even in Macheke, which is, sustainable developmental goal 17 for, the partnership for the goals. It's very, very important. So I like the fact that the organizational values, in which collaboration is one of our values as an organization, are trickling down, coming down to our young and dynamic clubs, which is amazing. And one other thing, I was talking to someone, one of the committee members of the Young and Dynamic Clubs, and they were saying, oh no, I don't know why we keep doing cleanup campaigns and the like. And I tried to show them that cleanup campaign is just not cleanup campaign. It's part and parcel of the bigger picture of what Sustainable Developmental Goal 13, which talks about climate action. I know this is a very, very small levels at which we are talking about it. And then SDG 11 also talks about, sustainable cities and communities. So it starts from those little small things that we are doing that contribute to impact. Ray, earlier on, he talked about us in getting involved in the small ways that we can. Right. And now moving into the year 2023, we want to see you guys tackling the bigger issues to do with Sustainable Developmental Goal 13, climate action. We can't honestly keep doing cleanup campaigns. Where is the sustainability in that? How can we scale that up? How can we do better? So this year around, Mr. Misharo, I'm looking forward, and I know that this is the conversation I've had with you and the other young and dynamic executive members as well, to say, we want to see our young people grow from doing smaller nyana things as cleanup campaign to think of something that is more sustainable, that can be done at a bigger scale as young people. So that takes our young people to revisit some of the sessions we have done on sustainable developmental goals. Get to know what SDG 13 is all about. And how can you position yourself in the institution that you are in to tackle the bigger issues that are covered under SDG 13. And then under SDG 11, what are some of the things that you can do? You mentioned Chinhoyi University of Technology, and Governor Edwin did something amazing there. He tackled the issue of global health. Last year, when we were talking about mental health, he touched the issue of global health there, which is SDG 3. They had a day out where people came and did sports and did this and that, speaking to the issue of well-being. Right. So how can we do that even at a bigger scale at Chinhoyi University of Technology? So I'm looking forward to see young people looking into all of these 17 sustainable developmental goals and find that one and find a goal that you can tackle, because under each SDG, there are goals, and they can pick something that they can run with and they can do it at a bigger scale. And like what you have mentioned, Mr. Mshari, it's something that Leadership and Lifelong Development is willing to support them, and the social business units are also willing to support them. If you do something in education, which is one of our pillars, in health, which is one of our pillars, in rural transformation and sustainable livelihoods, it's something that they can look into and start thinking of, and we can always support them so that they can make that impact they need to make in their communities. So, Mr. Msharo, how do I become part and parcel of the young and dynamic club at the institution I am at?
Yes, Pastor. So you have asked the question how someone can become part of
the young and dynamic club at my institution.
Okay, thank you so much. For you to become part of Young and Dynamic Club, what you need to do is just you need to get in touch with your respective institutions, club leaders. For an example, if you want to get to be part of you said a club, there is Maya, there is Tadro Shoko, you need to get in touch with them. And also they take down your details, they add you to the group. So maybe I want to give a clarity. Young Economic Club is not about HLF beneficiaries only. We are not living in an isolation. We are living in a world where there are people. The community that we want is not everyone is under HLF beneficial. So your brother, your sister is welcome to be part of Young and Dynamic Club. You is also welcome to be part of Young and Dynamic sessions. You know, when you were talking about developing a sustainable community engagement things, you know, something came into my mind. Somewhere around 2020, when our CEO, Dr. K, shared in our staff group, said, do you know who is your sub? Do you know the school that you went? How many people are in that school? Who is your chief? You know, that thing, it is very important. I did the research. I went back to my raw area in Kutu. I asked who is the sub, who is the chief, who is the headmaster, how many students are at the school, how many students, what is the book sharing ratio, how does the toilet look like? Even at my workplace where I serve the most in Domo Shower, I know all the suburbs, I know the chief, I know the problems that affect people in Dombosha. Therefore, you guys as Young and Dynamic Club, you need to be aware of your different communities, because sometimes you think of drilling a bowl to a community where there's tapped water. Yes, drilling a bowl it's okay, it's nice, but are you saving?
Need? Yeah.
Yes, it's not a need. So in Dombosha,
they already have water. Yeah.
You know, yes. So in Dombo Shower, for example, to give a highlight, in the Dombo Shower, there is a lack of awareness, especially to girls. Off record, I'm not so sure about the statistics, but to the things that I've exposed you to, at average of a young lady who is 20 years, is already a child. So think of opportunities that have been lost, or maybe what made it to have the child. There are a lot of research that needs to be done so that we address those. I'm not saying a child is bad, but I'm also saying you can complete education and give a child later, where at least you settle. So it's a wake-up call to those who would like to make an impact in their communities. And with my last words on this section, I talked to one of the alumni working somewhere in Chile, and she said to me, there are no benches at the school that she's serving. So do we have carpenters, Tinashi? Do we have welders? Why can't we buy a small welding machine and a small plane and some drills and start creating benches? To me, I said, if we are going to do this as Young and Dynamic, we are going to make an everlasting impact. Thank you so much, Pastor Mnashi.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for that. And Patience, I know you had that conversation with Patience, and I think that's a very welcome initiative that we might want to start thinking about. You know, I saw the pictures at the school that she is at as well. So we need to start thinking sustainability. How can we scale what we are doing already? Thank you very much, Mr. Msharu, for giving us, just a run through of what Young and Dynamic Management and Young and Dynamic Club committees are doing in the various institutions that they are in. So we are just going to take a break and show someone what we have been up to as Young and Dynamic in the past week. If you did not manage to connect for Young and Dynamic last week, I know a lot of you you caught us midway because we started earlier than usual, right? So I understand that network is back now. Yeah, I know Econet mobile network was down when we started. So encourage your friends to connect for Young and Dynamic. If their phone is now working, you can text them while we just go through this video of what happened last week. So encourage your friend to just connect and let them know that network is back up. It's now working. Come through on Young and Dynamic. We are already on it. So last week we had Young and Dynamic annual awards. And here is a snippet of the session that we heard last week, which was amazing. Enjoy this short video. Amazing time we heard last week. If you did not manage to attend, well, you missed out because it was fun and it was exciting. I'm going to give you another moment again. Okay, I'm going to give you another moment again where you're telling your friends that the network is up and running. Connect for Y&D because data has already been credited. So they should be running to come and connect. I know that we had challenges with network earlier on, but the network is now up. So people should be rushing to join Young and Dynamic. So I'm going to play that video once again so that we want to jealous those people who didn't attend. People who are in Russia, like Vovo, who missed out on the food. So I'm going to play
Pastor Munashe, you're now attacking me personally.
It's not a personal attack on Vovo. So I'm just going to play that video once again as you encourage your brothers, your sisters, your friends in your WhatsApp groups and on text, whichever way you can, let them know that Young and Dynamic is happening as I share this video once again. So I'll just go ahead and share that video again with all of us so that we might relive that moment we had last week. Amazing. So thank you to everyone who made last week happen. Thank you very much. Snap to everyone who made last week happen. And to all those who won the prizes, the awards, congratulations to you once again. GZU, you did very well. University of Zimbabwe, you did very well. And Midland State University was just around the corner waiting to scoop the prize. So you guys did well, you did amazing, and we appreciate you. Over the years, we have experienced growth on Young and Dynamic. And we want to understand and to have a clear picture of how this has been going. You know, when we started Young and Dynamic a few years back, we took a break around 2018, 2019. There we took a break, and then we started in 2019 of August 2019. We then resuscitated Young and Dynamic, and from then things have been happening. So we want to have that conversation and see what has really been happening back end, and to understand more on how this has been going. Help me, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome one of the Young and Dynamic executives, a lady of power, a lady who's always excited, a lady who's always in the moment, Christina Arufandika. There she is. Oh, I was now going back to the awards. How are you, Madame Tina?
Hi, Pastor Mnashe. Good day. How are you?
I'm well. It's good to see you. I know you are overseas as well.
Yeah, I'm overseas. I don't know your challenges of network, eh? So
You don't know about these
I
challenges we
don't
are
know about those
facing.
challenges.
Yeah, so tell us, when we started in August of 2019, how did that look in as far as us coming here on this platform and connecting? How did that look and how was that going?
Pastor Mnashe, it has been a long journey. Trust me, coming from someone who was there before the break, and I'm still there after the break. It was a long journey, trust me. And the way we have been rising is so amazing since 2019 to 2023.
Right.
Would you mind me sharing with you the stats and let you know how it has been going?
Please go ahead.
Okay, so when we resumed in 2019, you can't believe this. We started with 14 people. And by 14 people, that includes myself, of course, Pastor Mnashe, and the rest of the team. We were 14 young and dynamic participants. And guess what? By the end, we had an increase. We were around 114 people who were connecting on Young and Dynamic every Saturday, same place, same time. We were 114. And in 2020, our numbers skyrocketed, Pastor Mnache, to a range of 200 to 300 people connecting on Zoom as well as Facebook. We did not end there. In 2021, it was a good year for us, and we saw our numbers increasing from 300 to around 800 there.
Right.
By the end of 2021, we rose, we shot. Trust me, that the rocket kicked off, and we were about 2,500 people connecting on Young and Dynamic. And guess, in 2022, our number increased from 2.5 to as far as 4,321 dynamites connected on Zoom, Facebook, from Zimbabwe, Burundi, Kenya, Lesotho, South Africa, everywhere where we're taking over. And that's where we are standing right now, about 4,300.
Wow, I like how we have had, an upwards trajectory. In real life, if Young and Dynamic was a business, and you're telling me these statistics you're telling me, I'm telling you, Tina, I wouldn't invest in that business. That's a Ponzi scheme. That's a Ponzi scheme. How can I invest in a business that moves from 2,500 to over 4,000 in a single year? So, I mean, I think it shows how helpful the platform is. Yeah, I think it shows how helpful the platform is to individuals. And how was this made possible? How did this become possible? Such you move in a space of 4 to 5 years, you move from 14 people to 4,321 people. How was this made possible?
Okay, first and foremost, I would like to be, I'm convinced that prayer works. Number one point, prayer helps us a lot to reach out to so many young people in the world. But besides prayer, there are some other things which contributed to our increase in numbers on Young and Dynamic platform. We have the SBUs in back in Zimbabwe. Those they played a very important role in helping us reaching in a lot of young people. For they go to schools, to high schools to help students connect, as well as helping them to get data as well. So number one, number two, the SBUs they help us a lot on reaching and a good number of students, and they are the ones who are closer to our students, to our focus, so they are able to help us to reach such a number. Then number two, we have Y&D club committees, as mentioned by Mr. Musharu. These include the governors, the secretaries, and their vice governors as well. Those have been playing such a crucial role in helping us to reach these numbers, because they've been vocal, helping us to reach such a number, making sure that their clubs got data, are hyping them up, sending out messages, helping us. We have a group of our own with these committees. They help us, give them what we want, and they deliver. And they always make sure that their people are always on the platform. Then we have the Young Dynamic Management. This is playing an important role behind the scenes as well. They have volunteered themselves, some of them, to be Y&D ambassadors. They're always there to Y&D, the way they conduct themselves, the way they do it in their communities. They're always there for us. Sometimes some of the things we can't see because we may be behind offices and we can't do some of the things, but they are our eyes. They help us to identify what's lacking, what do we need to reach such huge numbers. So that's and then the last one is individual dynamites. Everyone was connected to plus patronage. Everyone played an important role. You know what? People who connect, sometimes you see Christina and Monash are connected. They'll be connected with family members. They'll be connected with their friends. I remember when I was still in tertiary, I used to connect with my roommates. I was staying in a hostel or in a room with 4 people. So it was myself and the other 3 roommates. So it's an individual level. We are being helped by each and everyone who's connected here. They are connecting with their friends, their family, and ones.
Absolutely, absolutely amazing. And I like the last point that Young and Dynamic has been driven by dynamites themselves. And I remember last time when we had a survey to just find out how many people our dynamites get to be connected with. We had as big numbers as 14, 16, and the average came to around 4, 5 people on each device. So right now, as we are connected, 107 devices that are connected right now. If we're going to use those statistics, we are already counting about 500, 600 people that are connected.
That's
because
true.
Some of us are connected with 2, with 3, with 5. I can see my friends from Burundi. I can count. Let me try and hotspot them and see how many they are from. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people that are connected. I don't know if there are other people that are connected behind. Hello, guys from Burundi. How are you? He's just rose up to his point. Hi, how are you? Oh, how are you, my friend? Let me help him. Let me help to unmute him. If you can please help me to unmute him, and let's hear from him before we can continue the conversation. There you are. You can unmute. Hello, how are you? Now, okay, that is becoming difficult. Hosts, Kindly just make them co-hosts so that they can unmute. He's trying to unmute himself. But anyway, we have these, examples that we have of young people who are connected with other young people. I like that you noted that, Miss Tina, that the driving force behind this has been Dynamite themselves. And I just want to encourage to a Dynamite who is here, who has not been doing that, to say, when you have this opportunity, why don't you share it with someone? Don't come alone on this platform. Come with someone. So, Miss Tina, you've talked about this amazing work that we've been doing in mobilization. How can we do it better in 2023? How can we do it better? Because we want to reach that 5,000. We want to reach that
10,000 first nation. We can reach 10,000.
You see why I love you?
I see why I'm your favorite, yeah?
Yeah, you see why you're my favorite. How can we reach that 10,000?
Okay, so there are various strategies that we can use as young people to mobilize other young people to connect on Young and Dynamic. And let me start off by sharing the strategy of using the word of mouth.
All right.
Let's not be young people who will always be active in saying things that are not beneficial to us. Let's be young people. When a young people are gathered, let's be there to share about Young and Dynamic, talk about Young and Dynamic, share the testimonies, talk about how you have been joining and how it's been Young and Dynamic been helping you out, and invite one or two whenever you gather as young people, be it a church, be it wherever you are. Just make sure you mention something about Young and Dynamic. When they say, where do you guys spend your Saturdays at? Be proud to say, I'm Young and Dynamite. I spend my Saturdays on Young and Dynamic. It's not even 5 hours or 3, it's just 1 hour. So be proud to invite someone and you say, you know what, I think next week I should join with you. I would like to invite you to Young and Dynamic. And if they need help or assistance on how to join, make sure you assist them nicely and politely. If you can't and you see that you are maybe facing challenges, feel free to reach out to us. We are free. Our numbers are there. We are in every group. We can help you to help your friends to connect on Young and Dynamic. Then we can use social media. Everyone here is on social media, guys. Everyone here. We are on social media. We are on Instagram. We are on TikTok. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Everywhere. Fiber. I know we are there, guys. Let's use that as an opportunity to invite others. Let's be proud of our brand. I would like to use an example of a person that I know who have shifted from his own personal brand. And if you check his pages or whatever he does, you can say this is the owner of Young and Dynamic First Combination. That is Governor Alec. That is Governor Alec, who is proud of his brand. He shares, invites people.
Absolutely.
So be willing to share, to testify what's happening on Young and Dynamic through social media. You can even, right now we're on a session, some of you are even holding their phones. Be proud to take it, share on your story. You don't know who will ask you about Young and Dynamic. Share on your WhatsApp status. We are on Young and Dynamic. This is what is, whenever we share a post that this is what is happening on Saturday, please make sure you post forward, just forward. If you don't want to edit or do what, just forward. You do not know for your 500 followers, those two are important to us. Those two who will follow and ask about Young and Dynamic, they are important to us. And the last but not least, guys, be proud whenever you walk. Look at me right now. I'm wearing a Young and Dynamic t-shirt. A lot of people asking me whenever I go out to the mall. By the way, most of the days, when I go to the mall, people are asking, what's Young and Dynamic? And I'm proud to say, you know what? This is Young and Dynamic, as Mr. Tondoe was explaining to us. Whatever, when you talk, when you speak, be a dynamite. People are able to ask you, when you talk like this, where did you come from? Tell them, I was mentored. I spent my Saturdays on Young and Dynamic. Be an ambassador. Be a fire. Whatever you do, let people ask you, where do you come from? And you be proud to say Young and Dynamite. That's how we can that's how we can mobilize so many people in Young and Dynamic, Pastor Mnashi.
Absolutely. This is amazing. And these things are not far-fetched, right?
True, that not.
They're not far-fetched. You don't need to become a professional for you to be able to share on your social media pages
Not
about
even.
Young and Dynamic.
Not even.
Yeah. To just open your mouth instead of talking about what's happening with. Okay, we are live on YouTube, but I'll just go ahead. Now, you guys, you know Pastor Mnashi, right? So I'm just going to be Pastor Mnashi. Instead about talking about Mighty T and the Cat family and what's happening with Lorraine and her car, which happened not to be her car, why don't you talk about something that is beneficial, right? Why don't you talk about something that is beneficial? The lessons that you're learning from Young and Dynamic. Now, Christine, I'm just going to ask you one question and then I'll let you go. The last question that I'm going to ask you, you have been part and parcel of Young and Dynamic Management, and you have rose to be part and parcel of the executive, Young and Dynamic Executive. And now you have the privilege to work with Akelo. You have the privilege to also serve the executive director, Ms. Tanya. What would be your advice to young people that are listening? You were just like us. I mean, in 2021, you were asking me for lunch money at the Gweru office while you were at Midland State University.
Give me a future, please.
Yeah. Now you are always on the plane. What are some of the things that you can tell young people who are connected here?
Okay, first of all, Pastor Mnashi, wherever we go, I'm going to give you a filter. You need to.
There's no filter on Young and Dynamic. I'll humiliate you, my guy.
Okay, so my advice to all the young people who are connected right now is, in whatever you do, put God first. You know, there's a scripture which says, in whatever you do, be it eating, be it walking, whatever you do it for the glory of God. Never do something for people. Do it for God. And number 2 is be yourself. Be who you are. Embrace your talent, whatever God gave you. Use that. Some of us, you won't understand our testimonies, because if I tell you that my job came from TikTok, you won't believe, but it's okay. Right? Be yourself. Embrace your talent. Find your talent and make use of it. Do not abuse it, but make use of it. And the other thing that I would like to share with you is, you know, when you trust in God and do everything for the glory of Him, trust me, opportunities will come your way.
Right.
And the other thing is, whenever you come on these stations, please make sure you record whatever you learn. Make sure you have somewhere to write everything. I have my notebook and my pen with me. A leader always carry these. So please make sure you always write your codes. Or you're always following on what's happening. Don't, like what Pastor Mnashi, don't be someone who knows what's trending. Shadaya says this. Please be someone who knows what's happening in Young and Dynamic, what's happening on the prayer platform. Record and apply what we are learning on the platform in your daily life. Make use of it. Do not just record, but also use it. Don't be just listeners. Be the doers of what's happening, what's being taught on the platform. And above all, practice integrity, guys. Be someone who's honest with yourself, someone who's honest with the next person to you, someone who's honest to your leaders, someone who's always honest in whatever you do, and be involved in what's happening. If we ask you what happened last week, be sure you know that last week there were awards and Pastor Mnashi was wearing a blue suit. Know what's happening around you. Thank you. That's all I'd like to share with everyone who's connected. And last but not least, remember, guys, in whatever that you're going through, remember you're not alone. We are here for you. Please reach out. Do not go through hard times alone. Make sure you reach out. Thank you.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you very much, young and dynamic executives for just coming out and standing with the young people that are on this platform and encouraging them and giving them just a rundown of how Young and Dynamic 2022 was looking like and how it's going to look like in 2023. So next week, we are off and you want to be part and parcel of what we are doing. We are starting with a series called Lift Up Africa. We are not going to be praying, but we will encourage you to join the Lift Up Africa prayer campaign tonight at 8:30 and tomorrow at 6:30. But the Lift Up Africa series that we are starting next week, you want to be part and parcel of it. It will be giving you some mysteries about the continent of Africa. And obviously it will boil down to why we are praying for the continent of Africa. You want to know, there's some facts about Africa that you want to know. Yvonne, are you going to be coming back to Africa?
Definitely. I love home. Home is best.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for the time that you have given us. We are handing over the time back to you for closing.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much. You know, I've heard so many things that I thought I knew, but I didn't know in details. Thank you so much, Tina. Thank you so much, Ray. Thank you so much, Mr. Musharu, for the time that you spent here. And also thank you, Mr. Pastor Munashi, for having no filters. Anyways, so back to you, everybody. Just a reminder again to like and share and comment on Facebook and the Society channel, as well as the to go look on the Y&D page on YouTube as well. And never forget to also check out ABCs for Prosperous Minds on Instagram as well as on Twitter. Trust me, they give so much nuggets of knowledge on those pages. And also the Global Intercessors platform is open 24/7. So if you just feel like praying, you go there, you'll always find someone. Pray for yourself, pray for the nation. So for now, it's TTFN. Tata for now. See you next week. Love you lots.
Pacho